Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Backstage Pass of Successful Early Childhood Leaders, where we are pulling back the curtain of the what, the how, and the why they do what they do to get these transformative results. I'm your host, Chani Wolshansky, and tonight we have Sharon Hopson, who's the owner and director of Bella Vita Montessori in Omaha, Nebraska. Sharon, thank you so much for being here tonight. I'm so excited to connect with you.
Oh, I am too.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. So we go way back, Sharon. You joined our inner circle a little while ago and came to the Summit of Excellence last year. And since then, you've continued to be part of our inner circle. And now we work together one-on-one. And so you've really chosen this accelerated path to excellence, which is amazing. And that's also why you're getting these accelerated results. And so our topic today is talking about the secret to great retention. And you have been enjoying phenomenal retention over the past several months. And I want to first take a dive all the way back to what were some of the things that you were struggling with before we met. I know that there's a story there. So whatever you're ready to share with us.
There is. I definitely was struggling. I had opened up 2 schools within 2 years, which was way before my goal, but we were growing and thought that's what I needed to do. But it was only me and literally was doing everything. And that was really hard. And I was trying my best and I was hiring more staff and again, doing it all on my own. But I got to a point where things had to change. I was at a point where it was either I needed to sell because I was just overwhelmed. I couldn't do it. Or I needed to find a different path. And that's when I got online and I saw one of your videos and then joined the little just online piece that a lot of directors and owners do. Yeah. Heard you and decided to put in my application for the Directors Inner Circle and joined in January of 18.
And the rest is history, as they say.
It really is. And it's only been going uphill since.
Oh, I love that. And it's been amazing working with you. And more specifically, I think what's incredible about the work that you've done, and we're going to unpack some of the strategies that you've been implementing, is that you're an overachiever, you're a hard worker, and I know that a lot of owners and directors can resonate with this. I mean, anyone that's an owner director is naturally this entrepreneur, has this big, inner motivation and drive to accomplish, to create something amazing. And yet at a certain point, it's going to catch up with us if we're not plugging into the right systems and forming the right habits that are truly going to take us to that next level. And that's why I'm excited to talk to you, because you have recognized that through a lot of our conversations and support sessions and dialogue. So let's go through a particular breakthrough that you had with your retention when one of your newer teachers came into your office to share with you probably one of the most dreaded statements that any director can hear. So tell us about that.
So one of my teachers walks in, says she needs to meet with my executive director and I, and that is, of course, never the thing you want to be like, why both of us?
Right. Like, so, what's going on?
She sat down and she had a smile on her face and everything. And she just said, you know what? Someone else has offered me $2 more an hour. And, she's single. She's living on her own. $2 is huge. And really to anyone that's huge.
To anyone, that's huge. A lot of money. Yeah.
And I just kind of sat there not knowing what to say because I knew she was newer, really great, but new, right? I had already offered her at that moment what I could handle. Yeah. And so I just kind of stopped and I really didn't say anything because I didn't know what to say. And but then she opened her mouth again and said, but I don't want to leave. And I just perked up and I was like, okay, tell me about that. And she said, I don't think that, where they're offering me this other type of job is really this environment that is going to be like the environment we have here, which is family. I have my friends, literally my friends are here. I always feel supported. I feel backed up. I can meet with you at any time I need to, just all of that. Yeah. And in the end, she said, but I've decided to stay. So literally I've almost said nothing at this point, you know, except being in awe, and just told her that, you know, how I would continue the support, how she was, you know, in line to be taking the Montessori certification and those sorts of benefits. It wasn't a I was going to support her in her journey of becoming a Montessori teacher.
You know, that story, every time I hear it, and I've heard you say it so many times, is really just a testament to busting that myth. Teachers do not leave jobs for more money. They leave because it's not the right environment for them to feel appreciated and validated and valued there. And you have been able to change that. And so she stayed on her own will. And you barely said anything. You didn't even have to like convince her, could like do anything. You didn't have to, you know, a lot of times owners are like, oh, we have to offer them more benefits and we have to offer them this and we have to offer them this and we have to do this. And I'm all for treating your teachers in the highest, best possible way, of course. But at the same time, don't buy into the lie that if you give them the Rolls Royce and you give them this money and this money and this benefit and this benefit, then they're going to stay. They're not. That's not what's making them stay. So let's try to unpack a little bit. When you came to the event last year and afterwards we started working on creating standards, what was the reason that you realized, you know what, I need to embrace this. I need to start getting clear on what I expect from my staff?
Well, what was the big eye opener for me was that I have very high expectations. And I think that, like you've said, I think almost any owner, any director has the highest of expectations. Yeah. But you know what I realized is that I wasn't sharing those with my staff. So it was really how I was showing up each day. And I wasn't showing up at my best. And I didn't even realize it, that I would start nitpicking things. Oh, this wasn't cleaned right, or this wasn't done, whatever that might be. Yeah. And what I noticed was that it was because I hadn't really told them what my expectation was. Yeah. And so it all came in all together at the live event, that it was like, I just have to have standards. I have to put those expectations on paper, and then they'll know what to do. And then that'll take it off of me. I can show up better for them every day. And that's what we did. I came back from that live event with my executive director, and my directors were already ready to go, because we were texting them, and they were texting us at the live event saying, how's it going? What are you doing? You know, what are we going to do? I love that. And so they were ready to go when we got back, because Amy and I had a list of, here's the things we want to start with, that we need these standards for. Yeah. And that's what we started with as soon as I got back.
Yeah. And so I want to unpack a little bit of what you just said before we share, you know, something else. Is we knew what we were going to get started with. That is such a key word in what you just said now. When we come back from events, a lot of times we are guilty of just kind of doing what I call verbal vomit all over our staff. Here's all the things that we learned. Here's all the ideas we're going to implement. Here's all this great stuff. And, you know, I'm so inspired. I'm so on a high. We have to do this. We have to do this. We have to do this. And everyone just goes into retreat land of like, stay away from Sharon for the next month till she comes down from her crazy high. Right. Or they just tune you out and, you know, they do what you said. And then 3 weeks later, they're not doing it anymore. And that's something that we really unpack at the summit. It's, we really break down those months. What's first, what's second, what's third, you know, what happens next. So I'm so glad that you brought up that piece there. Yeah. So creating standards created clarity for your staff. Can you unpack one of those standards, which I know you created around gossip? Yes. Talk to me a little bit about that, because I know that gossip and toxicity is something that is going to be in any school. No matter how amazing your culture is, it's still going to feast itself in at some points. So let's unpack that a little bit.
So it's our communication standard. Yeah. And it just talks about, in general, of how we communicate with one another. And the ideas really came through a video that you did on, or a little webinar that you did on
Yeah.
how to get along with your team and how to build your team.
Yeah.
And so all the staff had listened to that. That was before I even went to the live event.
Yeah.
And that got them kind of rolling too, of hearing that really got them on a little bit of a high also, because what we came together with was a big piece about the gossip, about how does that make everyone else feel, that we're adults, right?
Yeah.
And so we should be able to go to each other. Do we always? No.
Right.
But the other piece that it really brings out too is what we call the vault, and that, which I love.
Yeah.
And that I can come to you and say, I need to talk to you, but I need you to vault this. And that means that I don't want this to go any further. It may just be something I need to vent about in the moment and just need to get off my chest and move on.
Yeah.
But could become gossip if then you take it further when I didn't even need it to go any further. I just needed to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
And so, teachers even do this with me, because I remember telling you this.
Yes.
I went to a lead teacher, and I had noticed and this was just very innocent on my part.
Yeah.
That I went to this teacher and said, hey, I saw so-and-so. They seem kind of down, or something's wrong. What's going on? It wasn't about like
Gossiping or anything. Yeah.
I was concerned, right? And she said to me, she goes, Sharon, she goes, I'd love to tell you, but I'm vaulting that, and it's not my story to tell.
I tell you, I cry every time I hear that story. I can't.
I give myself chills.
Oh my God. I think that is like,
yeah,
probably the peak of the peaks that you can get to in a school, when the teacher feels safe enough to tell that to her boss.
Right.
It's vaulted. Like, that is vulnerability. That is courage. That is bravery. That is excellence. Like, I'm so glad you brought up this story, because it's one of my favorite to tell.
Yeah. And that she, literally, that's another thing that the teachers themselves have come up with, is just, that's not my story to tell.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I said, oh my gosh, you are completely right. Thank you for doing that. I will find out if he wants to tell me.
Yeah. And now let's piggyback on what you did. You didn't respond with, well, I'm the boss, you have to tell me what's going on over here. Right. You reinforce the standard that you created. And that's what accountability is, when we're all holding each other accountable to the standard that we've created in our school. Like, that's just so beautiful. Like, we all have to hold each other accountable, because we're all humans and we're all going to fall off the bandwagon at some point.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I love that story. So let's go a little bit further. So before we go further, let's reflect for a minute. So one of the biggest ways that you've been able to really retain amazing staff is this clarity of standards, where the teachers know what you expect now. They're not walking around thinking, am I good enough? Is this clean enough? Is this enough? Is this enough? There's no stress or anxiety around, am I meeting the expectation? Teachers feel safe that they could talk to one another. And we all know how much studies have been done that when teachers have a friend at work and when they feel safe, they will stay there. They will turn down high-paying jobs because they feel safe in this environment. And I think that there's so much talk about, oh, our school is like a family. Family can mean so many different things.
Right.
A lot of families stab each other in the backs. So what does family really mean, right? Is this like utopian like terminology of what family means? Because we have to define, what does family mean in our school? What does it mean that we all warm and we all take care of each other? Because taking care of each other means is that when I tell you something and you vault it, even when boss lady comes in and says, what's up, you're going to still protect that. That's a family. Like, I love that story. So let's go a little bit further. One of the other things you were saying about this teacher, again, who turned down the offer, was she said, I can meet with you whenever I want. Talk to me a little bit about how you've structured your one-on-one meetings that have helped staff want to stay, like just want to be part of this phenomenal culture that you've built?
Right. So one of the things that Amy and I do, Amy's my executive director, is that Amy meets every month and does one-on-ones for 30 minutes with every assistant. And then I meet one-on-one every month with every lead teacher. And so during that time, it is no one else can be in the room. Usually even, sometimes we are just because of where our offices are, but usually even Amy and I do those by ourselves. Like Amy's not in on mine and I'm not usually hers. Because we say that this is our safe place. No one else is here. Note goes on the door. No one can interrupt. So teachers understand that that is their 100% time. They can meet with us at other times, but this is their dedicated scheduled time to meet. And we keep to that. And some weeks it's not easy, something will happen.
Of course.
But before, when I was trying to do those and I was trying to do them all myself, it didn't seem to ever happen. Yeah. But now it really is. And we stick to that. Even I'll say something, and even though I have Amy's schedule, I'll say, oh, Amy, Tuesday at 2, can you do? And she's like, that's my one-on-ones. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I
love it.
So, we stick to that, and it's during the workday. They're paid for it.
Yep.
It's not during their lunch.
Yep.
Other teachers also, they move things around and reschedule and make sure everyone else gets breaks so that these can happen.
Because it's a part of your culture. This is for everyone, because we all benefit from this, right?
Yeah.
So I actually want you to share, during your one-on-ones, I know that you help the teacher set goals and things. And one of the stories you told me a little while back was the simplicity of the goals. Because I talk about this all the time, and we speak about this at the summit also.
Yeah.
We live in this delusional world that massive results equals massive action. No. It's the smallest action, the smallest little win that has exponential gains. So can you tell us that story about the teacher with the laundry? I think it's such a
absolutely story. Right. Yeah. So we don't necessarily obviously set all of their goals. We might have something in mind that we'd like them to work on, but we kind of wait and we like them, and we go, as people would learn in the inner circle, how to help them, prioritize their goals and set them. Yeah. So one of the teachers, that's one of the assistants that Amy meets with, her goal was simple in our minds. It was, she needed to get her laundry done. And at first Amy was like, okay, I'm not sure how to do that. In her mind, she's saying, I'm not sure how to do that. But she says, okay, but tell me more. Right. And what it was,
powerful tool. Tell me more.
Right. Because to us who have laundry in our homes and blah, 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 it was nothing. So, but this person, she was stressed quite a bit coming to work because her laundry was piling up and she didn't have clean clothes to wear, and she has to go to a laundromat. And so she would just find that it would come, to that time and pass, and she wouldn't think about it. So what Amy did is they together decided that Amy would text her every Thursday evening and say, hey, you doing your laundry? And then this person would text back a little picture or something cute, or, maybe she was snacking at the place, and send back a picture saying that, yeah, she was doing her laundry. And it was great for them, and it worked for the teacher. And now she's not stressed at all about this, which comes into play when she comes to work and how she shows up each day.
So, and I love that you wrapped up with that, right? When a teacher's coming to work stressed, right? In our mind, sometimes we're looking at, stop being so stressed out. You need to be here for the kids. You need to be engaged. You need to be intentional. You need to be mindful. And meanwhile, she's thinking, shush, I don't have clean clothes. I don't have a clean bra. I don't know what to put on right now. Right? Like, just basics, right? And so I love this, where the one-on-ones was the catalyst to opening up this channel of, I need help to do my laundry. I forget to do this. This is like an executive functioning skill that I need help with. And Amy was understanding, tell me more. She's learning these skills, opened up that channel, teachers less stressed, less anxious from something so simple, right? We don't always have to set this massive goal with the teacher. Okay, I want you to do this and this, and, every single hour of the day, make sure you're on the floor playing with the kids. And, no, let's get you clean clothes first. So I love that.
Sometimes it's just reading an article, right? It's just reading an article a week. It's just, you have to go with where that
meet them where they are
is, right? And then continue to move them forward so that they can be successful in meeting these goals. If we set these huge goals and then we're not setting them up for success to get there, then we're failing for them.
Yeah. And let's take it even a step further. This teacher, right? Again, consistent, like, we can all live with stress every once in a while, or, anxiety or whatever it is, but consistent anxiety and stress in our lives wreaks havoc on us in all different ways. And what ends up happening with teachers like this, and it doesn't necessarily have to be laundry, it could be anything, is like, when she comes to work every day feeling stressed and anxious, she wasn't even aware where it was coming from. It only happened because of the 1-1 meeting that she got this awareness. She would quit eventually. She's like, this job is causing me to be so stressful. Meanwhile, it wasn't the job. It was this part that she would take with her the next job also.
Yes.
But here we created the environment, right? That's why I'm like, stop trying to motivate teachers. Create an environment where teachers want to show up. So, I love this story so much. I could talk about it all day. But anyways, let's move on. So again, something as simple as laundry, reminding them to do that. That was a goal that they set. So bringing everything full circle, you created these amazing standards. And for those of you that want a sample of Sharon's gossip standard, we're going to have that in the show notes here, and you'll have that available for you guys so you can see some samples of that. And we're going to be doing more of that at the Summit of Excellence in the summer, understanding a little bit more about what standards look like and how you could start creating some of your own as well. And really breaking down what your personal retention strategy is going to look like in your school. And so, Sharon, you came to our event last year. You brought Amy with you last year. This year, you're coming again. You're bringing some more of your leadership with team.
Yep.
What's bringing you back? Why are you excited to come back this year?
Well, first of all, just the fact, like I said, that we left last year with intentions of exactly what we were going to be doing for the whole next year. And that, because we put it into 90-day segments, right? And a 90-day goal planning. And although we're not always, it was really hard at first because we were, having to do it for a year in advance, but we modify them. And that's, people do. But leaving, just like you said earlier, leaving an event and actually having already a plan in mind made us go back and actually implement it. So everything that we spent, all the time that we were there, everything was 100% worth it, because I was able to walk right back into the school and start going forward. I had it all in front of me. Yeah. And that's what's bringing us back. And this year you're doing more, and it's just going to be my and I know that we're going to, again, now that I'm bringing my whole admin team, we're really going to be able to come back and just jumpstart right again. Yeah. So I wouldn't miss it.
Yay.
Like
I know.
said, even
so
more people.
Yeah.
That's the piece.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm so excited to see you again and your entire leadership team. So I'm really looking forward to July. So Sharon, the final thing in here before we wrap up is, what is your first action step that you would give to any of the owners that are watching this now, or any director who's like, this is great, Sharon got these amazing results, but where's my first baby step tonight? Where do I get started? What's my first little thing? And it can even be a question for them to reflect on.
Right. One is that they have to start having intentional goals, right? And it's so hard because it's everything that I've learned with you, right? That I know, and they're all baby steps. And, but, start blocking out time in the day to get things done, right? But one of the biggest things that I've learned too, and it may seem small to other people, but one of the great things you've taught me is that I can't show up in a positive manner with my staff if I haven't taken care of myself. Yes. And so in turn, that is one of the biggest things that I've I've learned along with everything else. But yeah, I can't show up for them if I'm empty.
Yeah.
So I definitely each week and you hold me accountable for that.
Yeah.
And that's exciting too, that if I forget, you're there to remind me.
Oh yeah.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend
Yeah, for
for
self-care. I'm on you.
Right.
Yeah.
And so make sure to take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
And then you'll be able to take care of everyone else.
Yeah. I love that. Sharon, I'm so excited to see you again. Thank you so much
I
for
am
joining
too.
us here
Yeah.
tonight. Thank you.
I loved it. Thanks.